Good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful Sunday morning, and after my live yesterday afternoon, I had a couple requests. My first one was for a t-shirt, and so I'm going to make her a t-shirt. And my second request was a demonstration on how to do the t-shirts. So the timing was perfect. So I thought I'd go ahead and do this video. And post this for this morning. And I'm not doing it live because I have a day of Christmas shopping with my dad, so I have to go do that, which is going to be so much fun. Anyway, so the supplies that you will need in order to do a t-shirt, or even a towel or something with fabric like a pillowcase, or a blanket, or whatever you choose, will be your ink. And so I have today, she wants white ink, so I have my white ink. Now the difference can be easily known because your white chalk paste has a black lid and your white ink has a white lid. And then you will of course need a squeegee, and you don't necessarily need a stir stick, but I have one because I am going to want to stir it up a little bit. And then the squeegee is just big enough not to fit in the jar, so I'll use the stir stick. I'm tongue-tied. I'll use the stir stick to scoop it out and put it on the stencil. So those are the things you'll need. You'll need something to go inside your t-shirt so that as you're inking the front of the shirt, it won't go through to the back. So this will go inside my t-shirt. You will need parchment paper, okay? And I have these. You do not want to use wax paper. You want to use parchment paper. I don't know how many years I went through my life thinking there was no difference, but there's a difference. So you need parchment paper. Of course, you need your stencil, and she wants the "It Is Well With My Soul." And you need your shirt because we're doing a t-shirt today. You will also need a source of heat so you can heat set it. You can use an iron if you don't have what I have, or you can use a heat press. So I will be using my heat press today. If you don't have a heat press, you can do it with an iron, and I will be sure to post the instructions on the comments of how to heat set your item once you're finished with it. So let me get started. First, I'm going to slip the cardboard between the inside the shirt. Actually, I'm going to put a towel under my shirt so that it's not sliding around so much on my table. I have this placemat here to kind of protect the table, and it's a little slick. So I'm going to put a towel under my shirt. There we go. And now I've got the cardboard inside the shirt to keep the front of the shirt separate from the back. Okay, full coverage. I did not wash this. I haven't washed this. This is a brand new shirt. It has not been washed. It's got a little bit of a wrinkle. So I'm just going to press it out a little bit. There we go. All right. Now, I'm going to place the stencil where I want it. It is written on the back already because this is one I've used before. Since I'm putting it on fabric, I really don't need to fuzz it. I mean, it wouldn't hurt if you did, but there's really no need because it won't stick. Plus, it's already used, so it won't stick as much as if it were brand new. If it were brand new, I would probably fuzz it just a little bit, but I won't today. And let's see. I want to make sure I'm well centered. Move this over a little bit. Put it up here. Ouch. It's hot. And I just touched it. All right. I use use the seam at the armpit. I lay it flat and I measure. Okay, so about 6.5 inches. And this one is about 7.5. Not quite centered. I also want to watch the tag as well. Okay. Sorry I'm so quiet here. I'm just concentrating. I want to make sure I get it exactly in the right spot. The person will be wearing this, and we want it to be lined up just right and straight. All right, I'm happy with it. So now I'm just making sure there are no air bubbles. This one's going to be easy because she asked for white. Now, you can get as creative as you want with these. You could do the letters in one color, the leaves and the flowers in another, and then the vine, you know, however you want to do it. She asked for white, so we are going to do white today. So I'm just going to just give it a quick little stir to get it off of the edges of the jar. See, I don't know if you can tell, it's already very ready for use. I'm just going to scoop some of it out. I don't think I'll go as crazy today as I did yesterday. Put it on here. And then, holding it at an angle, I will just... Now you have to be extra careful with inking and making sure you're not running over the sides of the stencil, because if you get it on the shirt where you don't want it, it's virtually impossible to get it off. You can use Tide Pin if you do it right away. But gosh, if you can avoid getting it over the edge, that's even better. So I'm just making sure I cover all of the screened areas with the ink. And I want to put a little more. I kind of want to make sure I get really good coverage to make sure it... Oh, I got some on my finger. There we go. To make sure it gives a good, sharp picture. So, carefully working the edges. There's no amount of time you have to do this for. I just like to make sure I do it well enough to get everything on there sharp. I've done stenciling where some of it wasn't as bright as the other because I wasn't careful enough to make sure, you know, I get this all the way around the stencil. Now, I'm going to take it carefully, remove the excess, put it back in the jar. Just like this. There we go. I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to check my hands, make sure I don't have any ink that I could transfer to the shirt. And I do. So I'm going to wash my hands before I remove the stencil. Some of it could be from yesterday. All right. Now I'm going to peel to reveal. Now when I peel it off, I'm going to start it on the corner and work my way to the middle. You don't want to just pull the corner and stretch out the stencil. So I'm going to start the corner, work my way to the middle, and then carefully peel it off. There we go. I got a better hold of it this way. Look at that. Bright and crisp and clean and sharp. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm going to go wash my stencil. One moment. Okay, I'm back. So I took my stencil to the sink, and under lukewarm, coolish water, I washed it down with this little board eraser we have. It's a nice big thick sponge. Washed it down on the non-sticky side, and then turned it over and washed it on the sticky side. And now it is laying on a towel, sticky side up, so that it can dry, and it will be ready to stick back to the backing on the shiny side I showed you yesterday. I'll show again, just in case you didn't see yesterday's video. This is the side you want it on, not the side that you wrote on. I accidentally put one on that side once, and I stretched it all out trying to get it off because it stuck really well. So here's my shirt. I'm going to, when I first started doing these, I inked it, and then I started moving it around, and I smudged the pattern. So I'm just going to take a blow dryer to it for just a second. It just makes me feel better, and I've had better success doing that. I don't know that it's absolutely necessary. It could have been a one-time thing, but I'd rather not chance it. So I just blow dry it a little bit first. Then this lint. I remove the cardboard. And now I need to heat set it. If you have an iron, at this point what you would do is place you have the iron heating up while you're doing this. You want it set at the cotton setting, and then you will place your parchment paper, I almost said wax paper, parchment paper over the design, and then you will iron the design for 4 minutes, and then turn the shirt inside out and place a piece between the two layers so so that you don't transfer it to the back of the shirt. And then another piece on top, and iron the back side of this design for another 4 minutes. I did that a few times, and I'm too impatient, so I went out and purchased this little beast right here. You don't have to have it though. I mean, it's just nice to have if you plan to do a bunch of these. So here's the pad that I'm going to place underneath so that it doesn't melt everything underneath or okay, so I forgot to use the pad, and I used to work on top of this and it worked it, so I can't work on top of it much anymore. So you have to be careful to place the pad underneath. It protects whatever you got going on the table or on your workplace or wherever you're doing this. All right, I'm going to place parchment paper over the design. This has been warming up. It's now at 305 degrees. I'm going to set it on top of the design and get full coverage, and then set the timer for 30 seconds. This thing's wonderful. I made so many towels, a whole bunch of t-shirts, and when I first started doing it, ironing one shirt for 8 minutes, it was taking a very long time to get them finished. So I broke down, ordered this, and I'm absolutely loving it. So that's 30 seconds. Peel it off. It's not sticking, so that tells me that it's pretty much set on there. And then I'm going to turn it inside out. All right, it's inside out now. You can see a little bit, I think, of the design poking through. This is why you want to put something between the two layers, because that would have gone through to the back. All right. So I'm placing my parchment paper inside, making sure it's all around the design, and then another one. And I reuse these as long as they're not covered in ink, because sometimes the designs are a little bit bigger, a little bit more ink is there, a little thicker, and so, you know, it can get covered in ink as it's setting. But if it's not, I just hold on to it and reuse it until it can't be reused anymore. I like to be thrifty. Okay. So I'm heat setting the back side of the design now. 30 seconds under the 305 degree heat. I've got this ink sitting here very close to this shirt. That's dangerous. For me. Maybe not for you, but it is for me. All right. I'm just going to fold this so it's easier to see. And there you have it, a finished t-shirt. It is definitely machine washable, and I have actually this shirt that I'm wearing. Let me see if I can get a good angle. This shirt that I'm wearing now, I chalked myself, and I have worn it and washed it. I couldn't tell you how many times, and it still looks really, really good. So that's it. All right. Well, thank you very much for taking your time to watch this video. I will post a picture of the instructions on how to heat set in case you don't have a beast like I do. And yeah, just go to my website if you want to check out the inks and the stencils. Oh, by the way, today is day 6 of the 12 days of Christmas. And their special today is purchase 2 winter stencils and get a 3rd one free. So I'm definitely going to have to go do some shopping. All right, thanks everybody. Bye-bye.